back in 2015, May of 2015 is when this all started. I got some new neighbors that moved in upstairs from me. Now my apartment and the apartment upstairs from me are 1-bedroom apartments, so keep in mind. I get some new neighbors who moved in, and the person who was living there before had moved out. I had like some peace and quiet. Like, my apartment walls are like really, really thin, so you can hear any and everything that goes on in the apartments surrounding you. So when the neighbor before moved out, I had like an empty apartment above me for like maybe 2-3 months, girl. I had some peace and quiet. So new people decided, you know, to move into the apartment upstairs. So, you know, whatever. What I noticed, like, okay, you know, when somebody's moving in, you know, they move furniture in, it's, you know, it's loud or whatever, so it's, you know, they're moving in. But after 3 months of loud banging and stumping, and I mean to the point where my windows were shaking, and in the kitchen I have like a kind of like a dangling light, not a chandelier, but like a light that hangs from the ceiling, to the point where when you running across the floor, it sways back and forth. You being too loud, you being disruptive AF. Now I'm the type of person, I mind my business. I don't bother nobody, I keep to myself. So after 3 months of that, oh, not only that, they would be playing music at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, okay, so I thought it was best that I just go straight to the property manager and make a complaint than rather me going upstairs causing a problem, which I had no problems with. But considering how inconsiderate you being, I didn't have a problem with that. But I decided to do it the proper way by going to my property manager. So I went to my property manager and I let her know. It's like, hey, you know, the people upstairs, they're kind of, you know, being disruptive and inconsiderate. You know, they're playing music 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't care what you do. Like I said, I mind my business. But when you being inconsiderate of others, especially me, then we gonna have a problem. So I go upstairs, and or not, I go upstairs, I go and tell the property manager, and I guess she didn't like that. I forgot to mention too, it is, you know, like I said, it is a 1-bedroom apartment, but it was the girl, her daddy, and her 2 kids all living in that 1-bedroom apartment. Like I said, I know times are hard. I'm not judging on anybody, but like I said, you gotta be considerate, especially when you got more occupants than need be in your apartment. So I guess she was upset about me making a complaint. So weeks go by, and not only are they still being loud, but they're being loud intentionally to make me mad. You know, when somebody banging on the walls or stomping intentionally, that's what they were doing. One day, like, the dad who lives there, he, I guess, is the babysitter for the kids. He like goes pick them up and drop them off at school while the mom goes to work or whatever. So he stays at home all day, every day. So one day my mom was over at my house and I was getting ready to drop her off at my sister's house. And oh, okay, before I had walked out the door, he was playing his music extremely loud, and then he went outside to talk to a next door neighbor. She was on her balcony and he was outside upstairs on their balcony. And I have my back sliding door cracked. So when he had went outside, he was talking to her and he was like, oh, I got the music playing loud, like intentionally. And then I heard them giggling. So that triggered me. So as I'm walking out of the door to go get ready to drop my mom off, I was like, it must be nice not having to go to work every day. And then the girl that he was talking to, I wasn't talking to her. Okay. My apartment complex they are low income apartments, but they also are affiliated with a program called Turning Point, which assist individuals who, I don't know, who are like on drugs or want to get back on their feet or whatever. They're like a housing program for that program. So they get, we get residents who are mentally unstable or who are abusing drugs or whatnot to live in the complex. So she was one of them. And nobody pay her no attention. I don't pay her no attention because she ain't all there in the head. So I'm not trying to catch a case with somebody who I don't need to catch a case with. So she thought I was talking to her, and she was like, "Excuse me, I do work," but she don't. She don't. So I'm not paying her no attention. And then he was like, "Oh, I do work." And then I ignore him, and I'm getting in the car. My mom gets in the car. I'm pulling out. He said, some, bitch. I heard that. So at this point, when he said that, I'm backed up out of my stall. So I swerved back into my parking stall. I run up them stairs, and I try to kick in his door. Like, oh, so we call him mother bitches now? Come outside. Come outside. So I'm fuming at this point. I'm trying to kick in his door. I'm getting heated just thinking about this. Okay, this was 3 years ago. Actually, no, it wasn't 2015. It was 2016. I'm fuming right now. I am trying to get to his head. So I'm trying to kick in his door. I'm like, let's go. Come outside. Now, he's a big, older dude, like in his early 50s. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to regulate. I'm trying to remember the scenario and everything that happened. So I'm like looking all over the place. So excuse that. So I'm trying to kick in the door, trying to convince him to come outside. He ain't coming outside. So I go back downstairs outside. He's no longer on the balcony, but the girl is, and she's running her mouth about whatever. So I'm like, come outside or whatever. So he's in the house. I get back in my car to go take my mom, to drop my mom off at my sister's house. So I get back. At this point, it's around 7 p.m. At night or whatever. So when I pull back up, you know, they still outside talking. So I go in the house, I come back on my balcony, and I'm chilling on the balcony. Like, if y'all got something to say it right here, right now. Don't be slick talking. Don't be slick dissing. I cannot stand that. So obviously, as I was gone, you know, they was talking ish, you know, about the situation. So I go outside and was like, okay, y'all want to talk? Let's talk. So was this before or after? I think this was was this before or after? It had to be after, because I didn't leave the house. So you know, they're outside or whatever. At some point in time during this, after I came back, I remember him going in the house and making a phone call to his daughter, because this is his daughter's apartment. Her name is on the lease or whatever. So I remember before that, actually, they were outside talking. So I'm sitting outside on the AC fan for my apartment complex. It's right next to my balcony. So I'm sitting outside on top of my fan, like, y'all want to talk? Let's talk. That's what I said. So I'm sitting there. They in complete silence. He's on his balcony. She is right there. Like, they're just standing there. They're not even talking to each other at this point. So I'm just sitting here on my phone. And then, what are you doing? There's some people out here. What are you doing? Hold on. I'm sitting out there waiting for them to continue their conversation. They're not saying nothing. And I think this happened after. I hear him, he goes in the house to make a phone call to his daughter, telling her the situation that happened of me trying to kick in their door. So I guess I heard her, I didn't hear her say, but he was like, okay. He hung up and made another phone call. It was to the police. So I guess she suggested to him to call the police about what happened. So, oh, no. So, when I get back and they're outside, and I was like, Y'all want to talk? Let's talk. Talk when I'm out here. So they're not saying nothing to each other, and he is like intoxicated. I forgot to mention he didn't have some beers, so he was under the influence, and he was outside on the balcony drinking his beers, and then he had a little bit left in his can. So he dumps his beer out over his balcony, trying to pour his beer out on me, and then spat. So trying to get it on me. That's an issue. So somewhere in between or after all that, he calls the police on me, telling them that I tried to harm his grandkids or whatever and whatnot. So they come out. Girl, I'm like, don't lie on me. Do not lie on me. So he comes out, or the police comes out to the scene or whatever, and he goes, I'm standing outside the whole time. I'm like, okay, you want to call the police? I will sit here and wait for the police. You want to come join me? So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, and about maybe 8 to 10 minutes later, the police roll up. He's on the balcony too when the police come, and then he comes up and looks at him and speak like, oh, are you the one that called? And he's like, you know, yeah, whatever. And then he dropped, you have to have a key to get inside the building into the apartment complex to go to like your front door. So he drops down the key to the police officer to let him in to go upstairs so they can talk, whatever. So I guess he went up there and got his side of the story, and he came back downstairs to get my side. So I told him they are, you know, rather noisy now. You know, I'm, like I said, I want to make clear, like, I'm not the type of people who complain about any and everything, but when you are inconsiderate of others and just being rude for no reason, like playing your music 2, 3 o'clock, you have no consideration, and then you do it intentionally after a complaint, you asking for a problem. So you got these problems. So he, I guess, told the cop, because the cop came down and told me that he said that I threatened his grandkids. That's all he told me. And I was like, no. Why would I threaten some kids? What the kids got to do with anything? I'm complaining about you. So I told him the situation. He called me out of my name. He spat and poured his beer at me. And I tried to, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say I tried to kick in his door. I just told him that. So he was like, okay, well, and then I told him, you know, we had some issues because they're upset because I complained about, you know, them being too loud. So they'd be loud intentionally, playing music at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then he went back and upstairs, was like, you know, yeah, that is, you know, the law after 10 o'clock. You need to lower your music and whatever that you got going on. So basically the cop was on my side throughout the whole situation. He got statements, was like, okay, you got it, keep your music down, you got it, good, go in the house. And he went on about his business. So that's all that was. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish by calling the police, but it didn't work. They left, and I still stood outside for like 5 minutes. The girl went in the house because she on drugs, she sell drugs, so she ain't trying to have nothing to do with the cops. So she went back in the house when the cops rolled up. So after the cops leave, he said some, I can crank it back up, and played his music again. So I called the cops right again. Same police officer came right back out. And I was like, yeah, he didn't oblige. He just turned his music right back on up. And it's just like, just to be spiteful and disrespectful, and that I don't tolerate. And that's why the situation got bigger than what it was, because you disrespected me now. You're doing it on purpose, and I don't tolerate that. You're asking for a problem, so now you got these problems. So he came back out and was just the same thing, told us the same thing, and just told me to talk to the property manager, and he left. Fast forward. A lot of things happen in between. I mean, nothing like really serious, but just making noise. They will bang, I will bang. It was just a lot of tit for tat. That's what our situation is. But the issue is when random people around the complex started coming for me. I don't know if this individual was a friend of hers, but one morning I was leaving out of the house, and I heard somebody was like, what's up? Coming from at the top of the stairs where like their apartment is, and I pay no attention because ain't nobody talking to me. I don't know nobody in the complex. I don't really speak to nobody in the complex, so I figured that individual wasn't talking to me, but it clicked after the fact. So I'm like, okay, this is what we doing. So my issue is with the girl, mind you. She been like going around the complex talking about me to individuals, and then I guess individuals is now feeling a certain type of way about me. So the thing is, like, girl, I got an issue with you. Okay, so like I said, back and forth in between, she would have company come over. It'll be late night. They be on their balcony playing music extra loud, and you know, like intentionally and talking ish. And I'm like, girl, I'm downstairs. If you want to do something, let's do it. So it's a lot of that was going on, just like doing stuff intentionally. So it's like at a point to where I'm trying to see. It was one particular incident, because I remember I had what did happen. I'm trying to remember what happened that made me go upstairs for the second time. But she would like say slick stuff every now and again when she outside, and I hear everything because, like I said, these walls are thin. So I don't remember what happened this particular incident, but I remember me going to my sister's house to go get my sister, and we went upstairs. So mind you, she knows the relationship we have, okay? She had her daddy call the police on me. She know there's an issue. She know I made a complaint about them being loud. So she knows who I am. So that night where I went upstairs, basically to check her and say what's good, I was like, okay, what caused me to go up there, girl? I can't remember. I've been dealing with this for 2 years. It's been a lot. So I just remember one night I was, the most important thing, girl. So, oh my God. So one night I get home from, I don't know where, the store. I had just gotten the house from the store, and I'm putting my things away, and I'm hearing somebody outside yelling. Oh my God, let me back up. So one night I had my boyfriend come over, and he came over to spend the night, and I thought it'd be funny to play a prank on him just to see what kind of reaction. I think all girls do this, just to see like what kind of reaction that their boyfriend will get, to see like what kind of space they're in, to see if they're serious with a relationship. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I thought it would be funny to play a prank on him, to tell him that I was pregnant. So I had told him, I was like, okay, so I took a pregnancy test and it came out positive. I'm pregnant. So he was like, oh my God, really? So after that joke, I didn't tell him that I was kidding because I fell asleep and forgot. So this was like a few days later. I came into the house from coming back from most likely Walmart, because Walmart my store. And I'm putting the things away, and outside I'm hearing like somebody yelling. Now my complex, there's always conflict usually, at least around this time. There was a lot of issues between neighbors and conflicts going on, so I'm thinking it's somebody down the way, down the hall, who got an issue with whoever. So I'm hearing yelling outside saying, come outside, whoop de whoop whoop, you might be pregnant but your face ain't. So I'm like, what? And then that like clicked to me. So I'm like, what? Everything, when something happens, it always registers after the fact. I don't know if that happens to you guys. I'm just a little, but things register after the fact. So I'm not paying no attention to it, and I'm thinking it's some neighbors down the hallway, and then it clicks like, this is this girl. So I'm like, okay, so that's how she feels. Okay, so a few weeks later, I think some other ish was going on. Like I heard him slick talking again, so I got upset. So I go to my sister's house, and I go get my sister, and I let her know what's up. So she like, okay, let's go. So we go back to my house. I go upstairs, and I knock on her door, and I was like, what's good? You say you wanted to fight, so what's up? She was like, I don't know you, and closed the door. Now, having TMAU, you developed paranoia. You always think, you know, somebody's always talking about you. You think it's somebody, you know, doing anything, make a sniff. You think they talking about you or it's related to you. I'm gonna make another video about this, but during the same exact time, I had a few mental breakdowns and everything related to the Team AU. I'm gonna talk about that in another story, but this was going on during that time. So my paranoia was on 10. Like, I thought any and everybody, you know, was talking about me, especially after the situation with her going around talking ish about me to every, you know, to all the tenants around. So when she told me, I don't know you, and closed the door in my face, I was like really confused. I'm like, okay. So that just didn't happen last week when she was outside talking all that mess. Okay. So it really got me thinking, like, I'm crazy. So, okay. And at the time, oh my God, this is just making my blood boil thinking about it. So she closed the door in my face. Nothing happens. So we go back downstairs to my apartment, and we waiting for a good like 10-20 minutes for something else to pop off. They is quiet as a mouse. I'm like, ooh. Now my sister probably sitting here thinking I'm crazy, because you're like, girl, you sure? I'm like, I'm up here questioning, am I going crazy right now? So nothing happens. 20 minutes later, I drop her back off at home. So yeah, after that, it's just been like tit for tat situations. She never checked me on anything. She never speaks to me directly. She has a problem. I mean, I understand if you have a problem, but she rather has other individuals deal with it rather than her. Like people around the complex will like say slick-ish towards me or whatever, and I'm like, girl, you got everybody out here fighting your battle. I'm like, she started it. Like, she started it. She want to do things intentionally to make me mad. Okay, you poking the beast is woke. What you want to do? So basically, maybe she thought I wasn't about that life, or I wasn't going to do anything. But she quickly found out, so I don't know. I just felt like she got other people involved so they can fight her battles for her, so she wouldn't have to. Ain't got nothing to say. Look at her. She want to do the most. She tried to fight me when she thought I was pregnant. Ain't got nothing to say. Outside, ain't got nothing to say. I'm trying to tie this back into my living situation. The reason why, you know, I don't talk in my videos at home. So basically, it's just like, I don't trust anybody around my apartments, because I don't know if she done went to them and, you know, put things into their head. Because from then, we have a lot of new tenants. Like, pretty much, there's like a handful of people from back in the day when I moved in there 5 years ago. It's like a few of them left, and most of them are new tenants. So, like I said, I don't talk to nobody around there. So they're probably gonna feel some way about me if she went and told them, oh, she this X, Y, and Z. You know, they're probably gonna look at me sideways or whatever. And yeah, and it doesn't help that another tenant had moved in, and at the time we had assigned this, oh my God, 22 minutes long. So at the time we had assigned parking stalls, and somebody was parked in my stall. So when you do so, you know, your car gets towed or whatever. So I didn't know who the car belonged to, so I can tell them, you know, to get out of my stall. So I went to the property manager and was like, oh, there's somebody parked in my stall, do you know? So I went to the property manager, was like, okay, somebody's parked in my stall. And like at this point, I'm thinking like maybe it's one of their company, you know, and they parking in my stall to be funny. So I told them, yeah, somebody's parked in my parking stall. Who does it belong to? And I'm thinking she's gonna tell me that it's the people upstairs or whatever. So she was like, oh, okay, no, I'll handle it. So she went and told them, you know, there's assigned parking, you know, move your car to the visitor parking spot. So I didn't see who the car belonged to. I had just went straight into my house. So that caused issues between me and the people whoever car belonged to. So there's some people down the hall. I'm like, okay, first of all, now they have a problem with me because they had to move their car out of my spot. So they just making me look like I'm the bad guy. Like, Lord, like, okay, so you that mad at somebody, like, and every time I come outside and they outside, they want to say some slick stuff. I'm not sure if they be talking about me, because like I said, my paranoia be on like 10. But it's just like, that slick stuff is not the business. If you got something to say it to me. Say it to whoever. Like, don't be talking in subliminals. Don't be slick talking, because that's not cute. That don't make you hard. That don't make you anything besides a punk. So that created issues between us two. I mean, there's no issues on my behalf. They got the issue. So anyways, back to the girl upstairs. So yeah, that's my living situation. Like, I just don't want to do my filming in my room, because that's where I do it, in my room. And my room is underneath her room. And obviously she can hear everything that I'm saying if she heard that pregnancy prank that I was doing on my boyfriend. So, I mean, that's not an excuse, but I'm the type of person that don't like people in my business. And I don't want, you know, them finding out that, like, I do YouTube and then, like, search for me and, like, do whatever with that information. So that's why I now do just voiceovers, and that's kind of going to be the situation until I move. I'm trying to just not care and do it anyway, but we'll see in the future. But I feel like I'm missing some stuff. But yeah, basically it's just been some back and forth, tit-for-tat mess. The girl ain't trying to see me about nothing, what makes the situation 10 times worse. That makes me even more mad, because you're talking so much mess and you're going out of your way to cause all these problems for me, but you don't want to see me about nothing. So that's what's aggravating to me. That's the situation. That's my living situation. It doesn't seem too complex. It doesn't seem, you know, like, oh girl, whatever, that ain't nothing. But it's something, okay? Trust me. To me, it's too much. So I hope I didn't leave nothing out. I got all the key points, the key conflicts, the key interactions we had. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I hope this video is not dark, because it's looking dark on the camera. But yes, that is gonna be it for this story time. I have many more to come. But yes, if you like what you just saw, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Oh my god, people watching.